Welcome back, guys. I'm sorry, it's been a long time since I posted. I've been a little busy with a few things, but I'm back today, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the two videos, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this video because this video that today I'm making is very close to my heart. So the movie that I'll be talking about today, and the movie that I'll be recommending you guys to please watch, is a movie called In the Mood for Love. So it's a movie by the great director Wong Kar Wai. He's a director based out of Hong Kong, and this movie came out in the year 2001, I think. And this movie, I think, is on the list of every cinephile and every person who loves cinema is gonna recommend you to watch this film because it's an absolute cinematic masterpiece. So yeah, so I'll be talking about the movie, I'll be talking about the plot, and within that I'll be talking about scenes and the cinematic aspect of it, the thematic, the visuals, and the technical aspect of that. And it'll yeah, so I'll just start with it now. So In the Mood for Love is a movie that everybody loves even now because of its way of beautifully showing the longing for love, which is something Wong Kar-wai is very good at, because Wong Kar-wai normally, if you look at most of his movies, like you look at Chungking Express, there's a lot of aspects such as love and loneliness in it, and the way he shows it is absolutely beautiful, and no filmmaker can show these things like him. So, In the Mood for Love is this story set in the 1960s about Mr. Chow and Mrs. Chan. I think I'm a little long, so it's Tony Leung and Maggie Cheung, and they were at their prime at that time. So the cinematographer is Danny Boyle, who's also worked with Wong Kar-wai quite a few times, and it's a beautiful combination, Wong Kar-wai and Danny Boyle. So yeah, it's a movie set in Hong Kong in the 1960s, and Hong Kong is a very tight-spaced city. There's not a lot of space there, and it's also shown very beautifully by Wong Kar-wai in his movie. It is because the in that movie the two characters are staying with their houses in another person's house. So basically, there's a house and there's a room that's empty there. And these people shift there, which shows the cramped urban space of Hong Kong at that time. And also, the society of Hong Kong at that time was a little orthodoxish, so it was not very open-minded, which is also represented very well in the story. So coming to the story is about these two individuals, Mr. Chow and Mrs. Chan. They're neighbors, and over a period of time they realize that their spouses are having an affair with each other. So they meet, and they come to a decision, and they start spending time with each other, have going out on dinner, talking to each other, and then they decide that we'll pretend or we'll act how our spouses might have met and fallen in love with each other. And this process, they also fall in love with each other, but they don't continue with it. Hence the longing for love. So it's a very basic plot of the movie, but then I'll try to break it down and try to show you, but not try, but I'll show you guys the scenes also. I hope there's no copyrights on it. Please, YouTube, help me out. I'm just trying to, yeah. So everything in the movie from the beginning to the end goes on in a linear way, and it's not like every scene has a crazy amount of meaning to it, but every scene is very important. Like, for example, the first scene is when people are I think Mr. Miss I think Maggie Cheong goes and meets the landlord first, and then Tony Leong comes to meet them. But then he realizes that this house is gone. Maggie Cheong has taken it, but the other house is free. So that's the first time when they meet. And the next scene is directly cut into them shifting the house, and both of them are shifting at the same time. So that's another time when they meet. And the most beautiful aspect of this movie is their spouses, like Mr. Chow and Mrs. Chang's spouses, are not shown at all. You just hear their voices, and you might see them from behind, which is something that is so beautifully done. in one of the scenes of the movie where obviously Danny Boyle and Wong Kar-wai have come together by using this technique of cinematography where the camera moves slowly. I forgot the name of it, so I'll just show you. The camera is moving slowly in slow motion, and the background music by Shigeru Umebayashi called Yumeji's theme just adds another layer of beauty to it. So this happens, and over a period of time, we realize that there's something wrong with Mr. Chow and his wife, with the conversations they're having and her not waiting for him. And over a period of time, we also realize that there's something wrong with Mrs. Chung and her husband. So this keeps happening, and then there's a very important scene and a very beautiful scene which happens in the corridor. So their loneliness and their obviously they're alone, their spouses are not with them. It's very beautifully represented by them going and having dinner alone, them walking in the stairways alone. So there's a scene, very beautifully crafted scene by Wong Kar-wai, where he's showing the loneliness that they both are in. But in the staircase, that's where they meet and see each other. So this is like the first point of contact when they realize that okay, she's going alone, I'm going alone, but we both have spouses. And then is the scene where after that it starts raining and they meet and they come to like a weird realization. They have a conversation about this spouses and they kind of realize that there's something wrong. And after that they start meeting each other. They go and have dinner and all that, and there's a beautiful taxi scene that comes later. But then they decide that why don't we enact how they might have fallen in love. So then they start acting how their spouses might have met each other, or how they might have flirted with each other, how their story starts. By keeping in mind that they might not fall in love or they will not fall in love. So there's a weird morality aspect also there. They did it, but we are not going to do it. Like, we are different. And that's also told in the movie after a point of time. So in that process, a lot of things happen. Again, Wong Kar-wai, the way he shows it is so beautiful. Mr. Chow, Tony Leung, in his character in the movie, wants to be a writer. He wants to write comics. So he tells the lady that I want to do this, and she's like, I'll support you. So they go to this hotel room, and there's this absolutely beautiful scene. I think a cinematic masterpiece, if I could call it anything. Beautiful scene. This scene is of utmost importance because uh, I'll just explain the visuals. The visuals is beautiful. The room, the red, bright colors that Wong Kar-wai has used throughout the films, and especially in that scene, is absolutely stunning. And the way they have shot, so they have used a mirror, which is of different, yeah, and they've panned the camera like this throughout and come back like this. And just in that thing, in that very scene, Wong Kar-wai has beautifully expressed how they have gotten closed, and finally, there's a end of the scene where you realize that they have fallen for each other. They tried not to fall in love with each other, but they have just fallen in love with each other. And that is a very beautiful scene. I think a scene that I keep going back to again and again. And thanks to Wong Kar-wai, I've spent like maybe 100 hours of my life watching that particular scene. So yeah, after that, seeing again, as I told, Hong Kong being a little orthodox society, someone, I think the owner of the house tells Mrs. Chong or Mrs. Chang at that time that you need to be a little careful. I keep seeing you roaming, and that kind of makes her feel a little weird. And that is the point where she tells Mr. Chan that maybe we are doing it, and maybe we should stop doing this. And there's a very beautiful line that Tony Leung in the movie tells, and he tells that I never thought that I would fall in love with you, but feelings just creep in, like they come from nowhere, which is actually very true. You don't know when you're falling in love with something or somebody. It just happens, and you don't know how it happened, why it happened, and when it happened. and then they reach a point where they're like, okay, maybe we will not do it and we will continue doing this. And throughout this, from the moment they met to these scenes, Wong Kar Wai in the movie has shown clocks many times, but it doesn't really mean anything. But the thing is, he's also showed how the timeline is changed with the use of food. I think food and a few things, which is something that you'll understand only when you like observe it very carefully. And it's very tough because the way the subtleness with which Wong Kar Wai has shown these things is absolutely out of this world. So yeah, so this happens, and then they decide not to hang out with each other. But then Tony Leung now has fed up, and he's like, "I'll go to Singapore," and she asks her if she wants to come. And there's a beautiful scene again where Ronkarwa uses the background music called Kezas, which is sung by Nat King Cole. A scene where Mr. Chow is waiting for Mrs. Chang to come, and he finally leaves her, and then he goes. Then we cut to a few years later where where Mrs. Chang goes to Singapore, I think, and then she finds out where he's staying, goes to his room, smokes his cigarettes, and then he finds out when he comes back there's something wrong. And the most beautiful aspect of the movie is when Mr. Chow comes back to Hong Kong, and then he goes to the same house where he used to stay, and we look at him looking at something, which most probably, according to me, is Mr. Chang and his young little son. And then he realizes that she's kind of moved on, but she's left her husband. That is for sure. But and then he goes to this place in Cambodia. He tells his friend, "This is one place in where if I go and talk to the hole and fill it, then my secret stays there forever." And he goes, and it's an absolute cinematic masterpiece again by Wong Kar-wai. And he goes and he tells it there, and then it's a secret. It's a secret that remains forever. So yeah, it's this longing for love. It's this secret that stays that I think made me fall in love with it. And also throughout the movie, they are shown from a third person's perspective, as if someone is looking at them, as if someone's spying at them. This is also something that Mrs. Chang is scared of because of the society Hong Kong was at that time. Such a beautiful story, such a beautiful way of showing it. I just love In the Mood for Love. I really wished I'm gonna talk for 3 hours about it if I could, but now I can't do it. So please watch the movie, and please tell everybody to watch this masterpiece. I would recommend everybody and anybody to watch it. There might have been a few things that I've missed on, and if you guys think that there's something very important that I've missed on, and I've made a lot of mistakes, I might have made a lot of mistakes, you can tell it in the comment section. And also, please tell which other Wonka or Roy movies that you love, because I love Chunking Express, I love Fallen Angels, Happy Together, 2046. I love all of his movies. So please tell in the comment section what other movies of his that you have really loved, and please do watch that movie. And yeah, and fall in love, I guess, after watching the movie. Yes, thank you so much for listening.